My name is Marcus Gunther, and I'm a partner with Focus HGK, firm that provides quality management and consulting services exclusively to CPA firms. In the 2024 Assurance Update, we're going to be covering some key proposed new amendments to standards, so specifically exposure drafts that have been issued on some fairly significant changes to Canadian auditing standards driven by the international IAASB committee to new standards. So we're going to cover off audit evidence and a standard that needed to be revised given the growing use of technology in audits, because the original standard was probably developed back in 2007 and 2008. We got it in 2010. So that's going to be one area you're going to be covering. The other two that are going to be of interest are the changes to CS 240, specifically related to fraud. As we have experienced over the years, anytime there are high-profile corporate failures or fraud comes to light, it always gets the question, what are the roles and responsibilities of the auditor in relation to fraud versus management? So this new standard will clarify and expand on the requirements for fraud. And so I think it's important in terms of your understanding, but also your fraud risk assessment, to know what some of those potentially new areas are going to be where the firm has potentially been more exposed. The other area of that has been in the focus for a number of years now is the going concern standard. And so this particular standard also looks at the auditor's roles and responsibilities relating to going concern, and really over what period of time we're going to be responsible for doing going concern procedures. It used to be 12 months from the balance sheet date. That is now going to be expanded. And depending on when the statements are issued, that probably makes some sense. But certainly going concern is another area where there is more guidance and there is probably more responsibility on the auditor's part to effectively opine that the entity is a going concern, specifically that you haven't identified anything that would prevent it from being a going concern. So another important standard, especially given the fact that there's some certain challenges to certain industries. Going concern is a topic I see a lot of consultations on. So this would be an important standard to review. The other one I'm going to briefly review, and I say briefly because CAS 600, Auditor Group Financial Statements, could be a 3-hour course by itself. It is a complex standard for the work of component auditors. We are going to briefly review the standard so you get an overview of it, but certainly I'm not going to be able to give in this session an entire overview of the standard. I'm just going to go through some key sections. I'm also going to spend some time discussing some common deficiencies found by inspectors and our roles as monitors to again highlight some of the practice areas that you may want to focus on in your upcoming busy season.